Alright, if you didn't get a chance to see my last speech, I proposed a law that would require you to take a face-to-face class, pass a shooting test, and pass a stress test in order to obtain your concealed handgun license, which is a CHL, is what I'll refer to it throughout the speech. Now this is basically to make sure that you see these people face-to-face before you let them go out on the streets and let them have guns, and make sure that they can maintain and uphold themselves in a correct manner while they're out there. Okay? Now, to make my point and change the minds, sorry, to make my point and continue to change the minds of those who may refute these laws, I'm going to show you why. I'm going to tell you why the face-to-face classes I feel are very important, what those who have already got their CHL license will have to do, in order to stay compliant with these laws, and lastly, for those who aren't able to pass these tests somehow, some way, and feel that they won't be able to protect their families, I'll give you some laws that will, I'll share some gun laws with you to help you with that situation. Now, the biggest reason to change these laws is for safety reasons, okay? Again, you don't want somebody out there who's unstable carrying a gun, possibly harming an innocent bystander. So, this is why I feel a face-to-face class should be mandatory, okay? According to Law Center, Gifford.org/mental health reporting in Texas, federal law prohibits possession of a firearm or ammunition by any person who has been adjudicated as a mental defective or involuntarily committed to any mental institution. Now, no federal law, however, requires states to report the identities of these individuals to the National Instant Criminal Background Check System database, which is what the FBI uses to perform background checks prior to gun transfers. Now, this means if you haven't been in trouble with the law or been sent to a mental institute because you were in trouble with the law, or have not been diagnosed by a doctor that you have a mental defect, you can still get your CHL. It also means that even if you have gone to a mental institute or have been diagnosed by a doctor, you can still receive your CHL if they decide they don't want to report your name to that database that the FBI uses. So, this is not to say that mentally ill people or people with small mental defects shouldn't be able to carry a gun or hold a gun with a concealed handgun license. It's basically putting the option in the hand of a trained official who will see these people perform face-to-face and see if they're able to walk these streets and maintain themselves in a proper manner. And if they decide and deem that these people are okay to hold a gun, then by all means, it's their right. Now, these laws would only affect people who didn't have their CHL already. So I'm sure people who already have their concealed handgun license are like, well, am I going to have to jump through hoops now in order to renew my license? And the answer is no, okay? So you're going to be grandfathered in to the system until it's time for your renewal. And you're required by law to renew your license every 5 years, okay? According to State of Texas CHL, as of September 1st, 2013, class time and range time are no longer required for renewals. As long as your license is not expired more than 12 months, you may renew your license. If it's over 12 months, the DPS database will not allow you to renew your license. And and you have to take a class all over again as a new applicant. So, if you've taken a face-to-face class already, when you go to renew, all you have to do is renew, same as usual, and go about your business. If you have taken an online class or haven't taken a face-to-face class in order to get your license, you'll have to take a shooting test in order to renew your license. But once you take that shooting test, from then on, you can just go back and renew, as long as you pass. Now, some may disagree with this proposal simply because they feel maybe they can't perform under pressure, or they can't make the shots and can't pass these tests, but they still feel they should be able to protect their families in any way, by any means necessary, right? And you do have the right to bear arms. So I'm going to share some laws with you that'll help you if this situation is like your situation. So, it's your right to own a gun in your home without having to have a license. So you can have anywhere your gun, and you can use this gun to anybody who tries to break in and harm you or your family. Okay? In your vehicle, this is the furthest extent you can have your gun outside of your home without having to have a license. Now, according to lawcenter.giffords.org, Texas does not require a person to have a valid handgun license in order to carry a loaded handgun in a motor vehicle or watercraft if the vehicle is owned by the person or in the person's control. However, Texas generally prohibits intentionally, knowingly, and recklessly carrying a handgun in plain view, except by a handgun license holder carrying a handgun in a shoulder or a belt holster. Okay? So basically, as long as you have your gun hidden in your car, whether it's in the glove box, whether it's hidden in between the seats, out of plain sight, you're good to go. You don't have to have a license. You can still protect your family in your car. But that does not mean you can take the gun out of your car and walk down the street and help somebody else out. Even though you're doing it on good intentions, you can still get in trouble with the law for that because you don't have your license. So, knowing these laws may make you feel a little more better about being able to protect your family. And that's what this is all about protecting our families and families across America. And the key point to all of this is safety, okay? You don't want a loved one dying because someone misfires because of adrenaline or because, they don't have the ability to shoot that they thought they did because they never had to take a shooting test and end up killing somebody or innocent person, whether it be your loved one or somebody else. Okay, so this is why it's important to have a face-to-face class and also to make them shoot and pass a stress test so that they're deemed able and fit to walk around our community with a gun on their side. And for those of you who feel like they don't want to jump through hoops and stuff like that in order to do it, you only have to change one thing about these laws, and that's only if you haven't taken a face-to-face class already. If you've taken a face-to-face class, then you don't have to worry about anything. It's same as usual, business as usual. So the transfer or transition wouldn't be as hard on you. And lastly, for those who are worried about protecting your family, because you passed the test or anything like that, you still have that ability to protect your family as long as you follow the laws that I helped give you today. So let's make this country safe again, and let's really apply these laws so that we make sure the people who are out there with guns on their sides are fit and able to handle themselves. Thank you.